Shalom, Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash, double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you sister Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Ash from the Great Millstone Miami camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect. This is going to be a quick lesson, real quick. Okay, I'm just going to play a clip from this video that you see right here, which is put up on this channel called Sneeko, which is this the streamer Sneeko's channel, which is the individual on the left, and he's having a discussion with another individual by the name of Professor Jiang. Okay, and the guy Sneeko, he's known for, just doing your typical streaming, influencing shit. But as of recently, he's been going in a lot on the small hat. Okay, and this guy, he's a Jake, he's a speckled bird. He may look like a another nation, a heathen, but his father is actually a so-called Haitian, which would make him a Levite. And he's been to the camp before down here in Miami, so he's heard of the truth, but he's on some Islam BS. And the guy on the right, Professor Jiang, he's been going in a lot on secret societies. He has a good channel, it brings out good information, going in to the elites and the different practices that they do. And he was a guy who believed totally in this system, but 2020 woke him up. And you have a lot of people like that. So he's been bringing out some good information, but I want to play a segment from this video going into the the MOTB, okay? It's being talked about more and more. It's not going away, and it's coming. So all you Israelites out there that don't know what's going on, you better wake the hell up. But you have this video titled Professor Jiang Explains Why They Released the Epstein Files. And this Epstein Files got a lot of people talking, have exposed what's going on in this world. All right, Salakia, but as I was saying, these Epstein Files woke a lot of people up. But the thing is, if you needed the Epstein Files to show you that this world is ran by Satanists, then you're lost. You don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, and the people that are now being forced to wake up to this reality, they're not mentally prepared for it. Okay, those of us that know this truth, that's been knowing what's going on, we didn't need the Epstein Files to tell us what's going on, what time it is. The Lord showed us completely what's going on. We know the program, and we are mentally prepared to hear about some of these things. Okay, so when I first saw this Epstein File things coming out, my first thought was, why now? Okay, if you needed the Epstein Files to see this, you're still under the spell. Okay, and the elites control the media. They control what comes out. They control alternative media. Okay, so those of us that have the eye salve, we should be asking ourselves, knowing how this man operates, knowing how Esau operates, why are they allowing this to come out? For what purpose? And it's always a nefarious purpose. And they're going to speak on why this is coming out, and it's going to lead to the MOTB. So I'm just going to play this clip, and yeah.
So that it's all in there, and they'll release it sooner or later, right? But the entire point is to traumatize the population so that they'll be much more amenable to state authority, right? So how can we prevent Epstein from emerging again? Well, let's microchip our children, right? You put a microchip in your kid, in his bloodstream, you'll never be afraid of your child going missing. Because there are hundreds of thousands of children who go missing every year in the United States alone. If you think about these 20 million migrants who came in through the Biden administration, right? These little a lot of children went missing in college, right? So there's this huge industry in the kidnapping of children. And so if you make that, the omnipresent issue, if this is all that people think about, then you make it much more easier for people to accept the idea of microchipping their children, right?
Just like 9/11 was used for the Patriot Act and mass surveillance, so you think that the Epstein Files released now is to traumatize people to spread what Palantir wants, what Patriot wants with mass surveillance, but there is conflicting ideas. I'm not sure how this correlates, but I saw that now a lot of American parents don't want their kids to be going to picture day anymore because they found out the biggest picture day organization, which you have to put your fingerprint, you have to take a picture of yourself, you have to put your age.
Exactly.
Even if you don't pay for the photos, you still have to, you're basically sending it into a database. And if I'm not mistaken, these people are implicated with Epstein. So if we also realize that mass surveillance is the reason we can target our children, is it going to be that easy to convince them? There was a Super Bowl ad with a Ring camera. That's the company that you could put a camera on your door and you can see your street. They said that there's AI technology, so if your dog runs away in the neighborhood, it can scan all the Ring cameras and AI will figure out where the dog went. Do you think that Americans are going to be that easily convinced with mass surveillance?
Okay, right. So mass surveillance is part of the picture, okay? So let's go over the reasons why they would want to have the Epstein Files released, right? Because it's already their choice whether or not to release Epstein Files. Okay, so the first is to make people much more amenable to the idea of surfacing, okay? The second issue is to destroy the old elite. Because who's the Epstein Files? It's the old elite, the financial elite. People like Larry Summers.
See that? So the guy said, which I believe this guy may be a Jake. I don't think he's a Moabite. All right, he speaks with a lot of sincerity and conviction, but beside the point. That's besides the point. But he said it. One of the reasons why they're allowing these files and documents to be released, for one reason, is to traumatize the people, and it's definitely traumatizing people. They totally believe in this system. They don't want to come to the grips that this society is ran by satanic, cannibalistic PDF files. That's way too much for them to bear. Okay, and to traumatize these people into fully accepting the surveillance state, i.e. the beast system, to accept the MOTB, which is that charagma. Okay, and they straight up said it. And you have Israelites quiet as a church mouse, pissing on cotton. Okay. And what they said makes perfect sense. They mentioned 9/11. It's the same thing Esau does over and over. Problem, reaction, solution. It's still the problem, which creates fear, and then they come with the solution. Okay, same way how they use the C-19, the so-called C-19, to scare the people into accepting that jab. People were all scared to death over the common cold, over the flu. So as the scriptures say, we are not ignorant to Satan's devices. We have to be extremely critical in these times, thinking very critically, asking ourselves questions. Whenever these different stories come out, whenever these headlines come out, we have to ask ourselves. We have to think how the devil would think and ask, why is this happening? Why is he allowing this to come out? Why is this story being covered so much. And it makes perfect sense. They mentioned that Ring camera Super Bowl ad, with the talking about your dog is missing and you find the dog. And I just watched that movie Weapons, and they showed that Ring camera symbolism, showing the Ring cameras a lot in that movie, and that movie was all about child trafficking through witchcraft, which is exactly what this man is doing.
Make sure you get the unit number.
Okay. And when you think about the word ring, what comes to my mind is the PDF Ring, showing you that those behind that company Ring are a part of the Ring. They're a part of the PDF Ring. And they're going to use that technology and similar technologies to fully implement this beast system. Okay, so we know that this thing is around the corner. The MOTB is fastly approaching. And we know these devils have planned to ramp up this third world's war that's prophesied in the scriptures. They're speaking about Israel striking Iran any day now. Okay, so this thing is here. So we know it's only so many more things left to take place, mainly that MOTB. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's just something I wanted to say. We already know the scriptures concerning this matter. And with that, I'm going to say, call Allah Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai. Until the next one, Shalom.